Not only was Caitlin Clark's unexpected golf course debut a stroke of luck, but it was also a stroke of genius. The world watched in surprise as she exchanged basketballs for golf balls, wondering how a WNBA star could suddenly become the next big thing in golf. This sudden change isn't just about sports, it's also about a brilliant marketing move that rocked the foundations of women's sports, leaving fans wanting more and the WNBA in a difficult position. The WNBA is feeling disappointed as a result of Caitlin Clark's golf debut, which has caused a stir outside of the sports community. Did you see the performance by Caitlin? She seemed to have thrown the whole sports world into a new orbit, and it went beyond her swinging a golf ball. Surprisingly, the sports community is talking about Clark instead of basketball because of the LPGA's brilliant choice to highlight him. The connection between golf and the WNBA may seem confusing to you. Hold on tight, because you're going to see how the LPGA's astute plan not only outperformed the WNBA but also served as a marketing 101 lesson. Believe me when I say that you have to see to believe the WNBA's oversight. The WNBA bears the full responsibility, not Caitlin. In a single day, the LPGA flawlessly carried out what the WNBA had neglected throughout the season. Imagine this. Caitlin received an invitation from the LPGA to attend a Pro-Am event that wasn't originally scheduled to air on television. Is it possible? But social media was ablaze with followers demanding to watch Caitlin play golf. It was an unparalleled commotion. The influx of fan emails and social media posts, in spite of the plans, all asked, "How can we watch Caitlin? Is it possible for us to attend?" prompted the LPGA to take action. By listening to their audience, they were able to broadcast the event on television and appease the enthusiastic fans who were hoping to catch a peek of Caitlin Clark's golf debut. Making the event accessible was only the beginning of the excitement. In preparation for Caitlin's participation, the LPGA greatly increased the scope of its Pro-Am coverage. In order to showcase live glances and even a preview of Caitlin's warm-up, Golf Today, which was broadcast on golf stations, began 90 minutes earlier than scheduled on Wednesday. And by pairing Caitlin with the best golfer in the world, Nelly Korda, the LPGA understood exactly how to make this moment even more memorable. What an energetic pair! This collaboration brought Nelly and the sport a great deal of publicity, in addition to highlighting Caitlin. Social media was overflowing with pictures of Caitlin and Nelly, who used Caitlin's fame to increase awareness of the event and women's golf. This strategy was clearly brilliant. The LPGA made a strong statement by placing Caitlin next to a huge celebrity like Nelly. Are you a basketball fan? Let's demonstrate to you how thrilling golf can be. And shockingly, it struck a deep chord. There was an abundance of content on the LPGA's social media platforms, with Caitlin appearing in pictures and videos all over. Even during basketball's off-season, she became a trending topic on Twitter, demonstrating the power of her crossover appeal. However, Caitlin's look had an effect that went beyond her own celebrity. By using her to highlight its more experienced players, the LPGA was able to draw in fans who might not otherwise watch golf. Although they came for Caitlin, many lingered for the amazing talent demonstrations by seasoned experts who welcomed the extra attention. Prominent golfer Brittany Lindholm publicly expressed her admiration, writing, "It's inspiring to see her here, supporting her golf tournament after everything that she has done for women's sports and basketball. For my girls, I'm hoping she signs a basketball. Her being here contributes to improving women's golf as a whole." That praise from an experienced player highlights how significant Caitlin's golf debut was for the game. This story wasn't merely a showcase, it was a calculated strategy that turned Caitlin's one-day golf jaunt into a landmark occasion for women's sports, highlighting the LPGA's outstanding play and the WNBA's lost chance. By embracing Caitlin's appeal, the LPGA not only improved their own brand, but also established a standard for sports marketing, demonstrating that the impact can be significant and far-reaching with the correct strategy. By attracting new audiences and enhancing women's golf, this astute maneuver thrust Caitlin and the LPGA into the public eye. The win was not only for Caitlin or the LPGA, it was a win for women's sports in general. What does this have to do with the WNBA? Was probably on your mind at this point. In sharp contrast to the WNBA, The LPGA showed off a lesson in risk-taking and the smart use of star power. There were no accusations of partiality or disagreements over diversity, just effective marketing. I have only received positive feedback from this event. There were no rumors that Caitlin was taking too much attention away from professional golfers or that her followers were too fervent. Two complaints that have dogged the WNBA this season. Let's now tackle the obvious problem, the golf greens basketball icon. The WNBA was noticeably missing from the scene as Caitlin Clark made headlines in a brand new venue. They were so silent that everyone wondered, what were they thinking? Given that Caitlin, a potential superstar, was receiving attention everywhere, one would think the WNBA would take advantage of the situation. Surprisingly, though, the WNBA said nothing, not a single Instagram post or tweet, not even a good luck, Caitlin. They seemed to act as though she didn't exist. Is it not unbelievable? The WNBA appeared to act as though Caitlin had disappeared, while the LPGA gleefully aired her accomplishments. They seemed to be oblivious to the reality that was being presented to them. However, the reality was indisputable. It was taking place, and everyone but the WNBA was talking about it. A quick look at the LPGA's Twitter account reveals a wealth of information about Caitlin, including pictures, videos, fan applause, her interactions with other players, and, of course, their own golfers. You would think that they might have missed it. However, how were they able to? Due to her widespread social media presence, Caitlin was a trending topic. The LPGA was releasing updates so enthusiastically that it was impossible to miss unless you were purposely ignoring it. Furthermore, as of the last time I looked, the WNBA wasn't involved in trend ignoring. In the same way that NBA or NFL players encourage one another at their games, this was the ideal opportunity for the WNBA to participate. But they said nothing. Remember all the people who couldn't wait to watch Caitlin play golf? They stand in for prospective WNBA fans, people who might not have thought about attending a basketball game but are now intrigued by a golfer. That is the key to successful marketing, and the WNBA failed to grasp it. This silence points to a deeper problem within the WNBA rather than just a lost marketing opportunity. They are disregarding the fact that they have a celebrity with enormous crossover appeal. The WNBA has long been chastised by fans for not doing enough to promote Caitlin Clark, and they are regrettably correct. The evidence is unmistakable, demonstrating a serious PR lapse and confirming the worries expressed by numerous people during the WNBA season. In light of Caitlin Clark's golf debut, the LPGA did everything they could. They made the most of her exposure, generating a noticeable buzz both online and off. She participated in the event, trended on social media, and was featured by all of the big sports outlets, including Bleacher Report and Sports Center. The WNBA, however, said nothing. They took no action. Nothing. Nothing. Now, you could think perhaps they just didn't notice. However, it was difficult to overlook this tragedy. In order to maximize the event's exposure, the LPGA paired Caitlin with their best golfer, Nelly Korda. With a great turnout, it's impossible that they won't bring Caitlin to additional events. In fact, considering her favorable influence on golf, they'll probably welcome her as frequently as they can. This was more than simply an incident. It was a calculated action that showed the value of successful advertising and the possibility of celebrity influence in sports. In addition to being a lost chance, the WNBA's inaction was a mistake in its comprehension of the mechanics of contemporary sports marketing and audience engagement. Let's be very clear. This is a direct insult to Caitlin Clark and her admirers, and it goes beyond simply bad marketing. Fan discontent is not the only reason for the WNBA's criticism for failing to promote Clark. It conveys a strong message. The WNBA doesn't appear to care about its players' accomplishments outside the basketball court. Supporters have expressed worries throughout the season that the WNBA is undermining Caitlin Clark's influence by preventing her skills and star power from being fully utilized, which does not benefit the league as a whole. Because the LPGA achieved what the WNBA failed to do flawlessly, this event has validated their fans. They took full advantage of the situation by welcoming large audiences, airing it on television, and leveraging the excitement. This is bringing attention to a real problem, not just a complaint from fans. The WNBA is passing up chances to excite its fan base, attract new fans, and show that it genuinely values its athletes. What is the WNBA thinking exactly? Are they afraid to draw attention to Caitlin Clark? For whatever reason, they are risking alienating future stars in addition to eroding their current fan base. Although it is detrimental to disregard Clark's appeal, the wider ramifications are even more grave. She is part of a new generation of talent that might leave if the league doesn't change. This season has been filled with lost chances. Their lack of preparation was evident. With up-and-coming talents like Jugu Watkins and Paige Buchers, they can and must perform better. Watkins, whose reputation is growing, and Buchers, a star at UConn with over 1 million Instagram followers, are influencers in addition to being athletes. These talents may doubt their future in the league if the WNBA keeps mismanaging its marketing, as it did with Clark. This could lose the WNBA not just talent, but also vital expansion and income. The enormous potential of accepting and enhancing star power was exemplified by the LPGA. Many people who had never watched a golf event before were captivated by their transformation of a basketball player into a one-day golf sensation. That is the kind of enthusiasm the WNBA need to aim for. Rather, they come across as hesitant, losing up on important chances to highlight Buchers and Watkins. Experts agree that this kind of star power is essential to women's basketball's survival. The WNBA risks losing viewers and market relevance in addition to fans if they continue to ignore possibilities as they did with Clark. This is about establishing a standard for the following generation, not simply about the people who are in the forefront right now. The WNBA sends a depressing message to potential athletes every time it undermarkets its stars. Don't bother with professional basketball, we won't support you. This mindset might seriously jeopardize the league's expansion and long-term viability. The WNBA has to learn from these mistakes immediately. If they want to be competitive in women's sports, they must begin recognizing their stars now, before they even on the league courts. If they want to live, they can't fall behind. The WNBA is at a turning point, and what they do next will be very important. Will they follow the LPGA's lead and adopt daring, creative tactics? Or will they stick to their safe game and endanger their future? The sports world is keeping a careful eye on things as time runs out. Caitlin Clark became an overnight golf icon when the LPGA taught everyone how to market effectively. The WNBA ought to take note of this. Don't keep this to yourself if you're passionate about it. Fans need to demand more now. Interact with the WNBA, share your memorable experiences, and further the discussion. Keep in mind that this is about all women who are pursuing their goals in their sport, not only Caitlin Clark. They ought to be honored, encouraged, and provided a stage on which their accomplishments can be widely publicized. Let's make sure that women's sports receive the credit they merit. What will we do now that we have the ball in our court?